Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope-filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hey, Hallmarkies and Postables. Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and today I'm joined by my friend, Kerri, to chat about This Time Each Year, starring Niall Mater and Allison Sweeney. It was written by Juliana Wimbles and directed by Crystal Lowe. A year after their separation, Lauren and Kevin focus on raising their young son Charlie together. However, Kevin harbors a desire to make them a whole family again. Welcome back to the podcast, Kerri. I am so excited to have you on for this movie.
I'm so excited to be back. Thank you so much for inviting me and for making me take time out of my schedule to actually watch a Hallmark movie, because this is the first one I've seen since the season finale of When Calls the Heart. So I have not kept up with anything. So thank you. It was a nice change.
You're welcome. Yes. And it has been a long time since you've been on this podcast. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited to finally have you back on.
Yes, absolutely. Me and my egg are happy to be back.
Yes. Yes, it kind of in a way feels like old times. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how long it's been.
Yes. Do you remember the Christmas game night we did?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
I do. And do you remember, I think it was 2 years ago, I believe. So I think it was 2022, when we had that one day where we recorded 4 episodes back to back to back to back.
We were exhausted.
I think we started at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and we didn't finish until midnight.
Mm-hmm.
My voice was shot by the end of that.
Oh yeah, vocal rest.
It was so much fun. So hopefully you'll be able to join me for at least one more this year.
That would be fun.
The season is over. But anyway, let's get on with the reason why we are here, which is to review This Time Each Year. What were your first impressions on this movie?
Well, like I said, I've not been able to keep up with anything. So I knew who starred in it, but I didn't know that Crystal Lowe had directed it. So when I saw that come up on the screen, I got so excited because obviously I'm a postable.
Yes.
So I'm Rita. So that was like an immediate, oh yay, for me when I started watching it. Honestly, I was impressed. Again, I've not been able to watch it, so if I'm wrong on this, correct me. But I feel like this was a slightly different type of storyline than what we normally see.
It was
from Hallmark, and I was actually very impressed by that.
Yes, I was too. I loved the creative storyline with this, and then the marriage aspect, because we've been seeing more and more of that on Hallmark, and I love it. Even though I'm not married, I know a lot of people can relate to it, and I know you were married, so yay! And I think this is the first time since getting married you have been on this podcast, so congratulations again.
Thank you. I can't believe we're almost at our 1-year anniversary.
That's
this
amazing.
is how long it's been, y'all.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I loved the movie. I loved the casting of the movie. I loved that, I got a few minutes into it and I went, oh, this is what's going to happen. Because, Hallmark has its little trope. And then it took a different turn.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, they threw a twist in it. What I knew was going to happened, but they threw a twist that I wasn't expecting. So I loved that.
Yes. One message I got out of this, and it actually reminds me of a scene from Signed Sealed, Truth Be Told. It's the quote when Shane is talking to Oliver: love is hard work. It's always trying to find a balance between too high and too low, too little and too much. You never get it perfect, but it doesn't mean we stop trying. Something
Exactly.
along those lines. I don't think I got it word for word, but
Yeah, I 100% agree.
yeah. I think that they showed that message very well in this movie, that you should never give up on love.
Well, it's funny, like as a married person, that we've been dealing with a super stressful year, and like I have a tendency to take things personally that actually don't have anything to do with me. So like to sit back and watch this movie and I'm going, he's thinking this is about him when it's actually nothing to do with him. It's actually this over here that she's dealing with.
Yeah.
It's just funny how like
Yeah.
being a married person now, my brain can process it so differently and see those different sides of that.
Yes. Great writing, great directing from Crystal. Way to
Absolutely.
go, Crystal. And I think this one would be great to have as a sequel. I'm not
Oh,
gonna lie.
totally.
I would love to see more of these characters and see where their story goes next.
Well, and we have the kind of secondary romance there that they can build off. So
yes, very true. Moving on to our hits. So this is anything we did like about the movie and or any favorite and standout scenes. Do you have any that you would like to share?
a standout scene for me was when Kevin seized the moment when her mom was there at first, and like Lauren like very awkwardly kisses him on the cheek or whatever, and he like seizes that opportunity to like full on kiss her.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. My daughter was watching it with me. She's like, "That is so dad. Like that is so something dad would
Aw,
do." So
that is really funny.
I loved that moment. I loved watching the brothers. Was his name Bart? Am I remember that correctly?
Bart, yes, I believe so.
I loved watching them like when they got the phone call about their dad, and the boys are out there wrestling in the garage, or like after the fact, like closer to the end of the movie when he's like, "You want a hug?" and they like slap each other on the face as their hug. You know, like it was just so cute. And then, of course, me being a classics geek, I loved the fact that they put the old classic Christmas Carol movie in there. It was adorable. It was heartwarming all the way through. There was not a moment I did not.
Yeah, same. I loved the brother relationship with Kevin and Bart. I thought that was nice. And then, of course, I already mentioned it, but the married couple storyline with a lot of depth to it, I thought, and working through issues. The chemistry between Niall and Allison was fire.
It was so good.
I have to say, it was so good. And I loved how Allison and Crystal got to work together again. And Crystal and Niall, because the two of them were on Primeval New World together.
I gotcha. Yeah, I loved that Crystal did a cameo. Like I got so excited when I saw her come on screen.
Yeah.
So and she looks so different because I'm just used to seeing her as Rita. So like to see her as a doctor was like really cool.
That was great. Yeah.
A different light was really fun.
I also loved all the other Postables Easter eggs that Crystal put in there. We had the blue house, which is Rita and Norman's home in the vows we've made, and I think 3 letters too. And then I know you have not seen 3 letters yet. You definitely need to. But also, Kevin and Lauren's therapist plays Norman's cousin, Calliope, in 3 letters.
I love that.
And it's funny and ironic in the best way because in 3 letters, the actor that plays the therapist in this movie also plays Shane and Oliver's marriage counselor.
Oh,
that's an awesome connection. And then the church that they used was the same one from not only Vows, but The Gift of Peace. Yeah, I think that's all Postables Easter eggs that I caught.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is so cool. Like you said, you caught several there that I didn't because I have not seen the most recent movie yet. I still want to.
Yes, you need to. It's so good. But no spoilers on this podcast for this movie. One of my favorite parts was the opening credits with the Christmas cards. That was so creative.
Very, very, very good.
Yes. And I think I remember when I was live tweeting on the premiere, Allison quoted my tweet and she said that was Crystal's idea. So way to go, Crystal. That was awesome.
Crystal did absolutely a wonderful job.
She did, yes. I loved the McCall family dynamic. I thought that was great. And some favorite scenes when Kevin and Lauren are talking after dinner. I think this is one of the first scenes in the movie. And it's about the sweatshirt that I believe she's wearing from the concert that they met and the songs that bring him back, I guess, to, you know, their time together. And the first Noel was their song. And then shortly after, I don't have Kevin's line, but Lauren says, I couldn't let a catch like you slip through my fingers. And what he said was really sweet too. So that melted my heart.
Yeah. I think he said something about like not just anybody being able to pull off combat boots with the outfits she had on, you know, whatever. She's like, well, I couldn't let it catch slip through my fingers, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
Basically told her he felt the same way.
Yes.
You know,
Kevin and Lauren working on untangling the lights. That was a great scene.
I laughed so hard watching that scene because I was like, that was so cute because like they were dancing. Like I know, like it looked like they were dancing, and it was just so cute to watch them do that. And honest to goodness, like I thought he was purposefully tangling her up to like take the opportunity to kiss her.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like was where my brain went.
Yeah.
But it was just such a cute little moment. And you know, very, very stereotypical, you know, all the lights being tangled and all that kind of stuff. But it was very, very adorable.
Yeah. It's always very difficult.
My daughter was watching it with me and she's just like, see, this is why we don't do this. We throw away the Christmas lights and buy new every year. And I was like, or you just like, I've legit never had that problem because every year when I take the lights off the tree, I literally like strand by strand wrap it up in a little ball. So like I've never had the tangle issue. But apparently it's a very common one.
It's not fun. I think the tree that I now have for my room is pre-lit. So I don't have to worry about wrapping Christmas lights every year.
Ours was pre-lit white, the most recent one. Before I got married, ours was pre-lit white. But I'm a nerd and I love colored lights as well. Okay. So I would colored lights around the tree along with the white lights. I would make
I'm sure that's really pretty.
I like it. A lot of people get on to me for it. They're like, just colored lights or just white lights. And I'm like, personally, I like both. Because just colored lights can be a little dark on the tree, but then just white lights to me is, you know, not as fun. Like, for my little childlike heart. So I like it.
I loved the gingerbread house competition and Kimmy quoting Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And that's very, very true.
Is it just me or was she like very much pointing that quote towards somebody in that group?
I think so, maybe. Bart?
Exactly.
Maybe, yeah.
He's standing behind her, but she's like, you know, it kind of applies to both brothers, honestly, but I think she was more like pointing it towards Bart. But I loved watching his personality because he still had a lot of, I think Kevin called it the high school hero personality, you know, but it was really cute to me to find that. in him. Oh, one of my favorite scenes with them as the brothers, besides the ones I already mentioned, was when Bart, without thinking, ate part of the popcorn garland.
Oh like, yeah,
oh, Mom. And then the first thing she picks it up, she's like, "Did he eat that?" And Kevin's like, "Bart did."
That was one of the first scenes. Yeah, that was actually one of my tweets during the movie. Oh. I quoted, "Did he eat that?" with the laughing emoji.
Exactly. Moms always know. They always know.
It's always fun to see everyone decorating their gingerbread houses and, how different everyone's is. That's always a fun tradition that we try to do. Sometimes we don't do it, sometimes we do. Kevin's talk with his dad, Joe, at the hospital, I thought was really nice. And I think this was after Crystal's cameo. So I thought it was a sweet conversation between them. And I loved the father-son dynamic. I think my favorite scene from this movie is Kevin and Lauren's annual Christmas date when they have the dance.
Yes. That whole thing, and I loved the fact that he did not lie to her in that moment. That most any guy, and she would have known if he had lied about it, and he knew she would have known. But that was something that was bothering her, was that he wasn't telling her the truth, even when it hurt.
Yeah.
She just wanted him to tell the truth. Whether or not it hurts me, I just want to know you can tell me the truth, and I get that. It's very common for guys to forget things like that. So for him to just be like, yeah, honestly, I did forget. My mom, reminded me this morning, whatever. And even for her to tell him, thank you for telling me the truth. It's okay that you threw something together last minute. It's okay that you didn't have this plan for weeks. The fact of the matter is you put it together and that you put effort into it, and whatever the amount of time you spend on it really doesn't matter. So I thought that was really, really sweet.
Very true.
And something that I thought was super sweet within that was that she was telling him basically he said there should have been more of this, more of these special times or whatever. She's like, I don't require all that. I don't expect all that. And he's like, I know you don't. That's what makes it special. And that it honestly sounds like a conversation between me and my husband, because he's constantly wanting to do things for me. And I'm like,
no,
I appreciate that. That's sweet, but I never asked for all that. All I wanted was you. Yeah. And he's like, but you deserve this, whatever. So I thought it was really, really sweet.
Yeah, it definitely was. Another top favorite scene was the choir singing the first Noel. Beautiful. That is one of my favorite Christmas songs.
I loved that. Oh, wow. Another scene, and this comes between those two. Another scene that for me was very impactful was, Lauren has had such a hard time telling her mother anything, because her mom used to call her Miss all the time. And that got ingrained in her that she couldn't make a mistake, or her mother would consider her a failure or whatever. And so when she told her mother that the angel got broken, and then when Kevin is like, I'm sorry, the guys had all kinds of excuses, but whatever. She's like, what guys? Lauren made it sound like she broke it. And he's like, no. And, she's kind of like, well, why didn't she tell me? And he's like, you always called her Miss, whatever. And it dawning on the mom. I've been a part of Celebrate Recovery for over a year now, about a year and a half now, I guess. And I'm going through my second 12 step and singing the band and all this, and just learning things like that, and going back and realizing things that, oh, that's why, that's where this started. That's where this thought process came from. And whatever. So to see that, and to see that with her mom, realizing that's something that she just meant as a nickname, she didn't harmed by it whatsoever, but to realize this is now
she took
harm. That she didn't realize it had made such an impact in Lauren's life. And for her that, and for them to show, I cannot remember what it was called, but where it was fixed with gold, where you actually accented
Okay.
where
Yeah.
it had been broken instead of like just trying to hide where it had been broken.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was the same. We're all beautifully broken.
Very true. Yeah.
Because we all have things that we're broken from, no matter what it is. Some people it's something more major than others, but we all have things that we're broken from. So to not allow those things to hold us back, but to allow them to let us grow as people. And for example, in this movie of at the end when Lauren's like, I thought we had this perfect thing and then it was broken and it could never be repaired. And she's like, it can be made better from what we and whatever. So I thought that message was very, very good.
I think so too. I agree. Before we get to a couple of the last scenes in the movie, what did you think about the way Kevin's alcoholism was handled? I thought it was done very well.
I thought it was, and I was a little confused to be honest, because I thought, like, just from the beginning of the movie, I thought this had been like an ongoing problem or whatever. And then towards the end of the movie, I gathered it really wasn't, that maybe it was just like he had been working at the bar this for a while, and then maybe like it made it like they seemed to downplay it a lot. So I wonder like what the time frame was with that. But I thought it was handled very well, regardless of the time frame. I agree it was handled very well. But I wonder about the time frame.
Yeah, I also wonder about the time frame, but the way it was written did remind me a lot of the way Martha tackles these kinds of subjects.
Delicate subjects.
On Signed Sealed. So
agree.
Great job to Juliana. Lauren surprising Kevin at the Bayview home and expressing her feelings. Now, this is one of the very last scenes in the movie. She's wearing the sweatshirt I thought was really cute.
And combat boots.
Yes, and the combat boots. And of course, they apologize to each other. They make things right. And they share a kiss. And I love how his family's just chilling out in the car right there. And they're like, kiss her.
Yeah, I looked at Bella. I was like, you in the car, like, just kiss her already. Get this over with. Like, come on, But can we talk about them kicking him out of the car? Just like, okay, get out, bye, and leaving him there. And he's like, what the heck is going on here?
That was adorable. Just kiss her.
Exactly. And then kiss her again.
Oh my goodness. And that kiss, I think I need a fan.
It was so cute. I love the way he dipped her.
Yes. I always love a dip kiss.
Oh, exactly. I love how they ended the movie with the same way they started the movie, though, with the pictures and the Christmas card.
Yeah, me too. And the family spending Christmas together, I thought was really nice.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I would love a sequel to this one, like we mentioned earlier.
The part when I said earlier that one of the things I liked was that I knew how it was going to go, but they threw a little twist in there, was like as soon as her mom showed up that first day, I went, okay, there's going to be a storm or something, and she's going to be stuck there for Christmas. Like, and he's going to have to stay. Like, I knew basically what was going to happen. Her mom was going to stay.
Yeah.
But not expecting her mom to leave and then have to come back. Like, so I was like, okay, maybe they're taking this in a different direction than I thought. And then I'm like, okay, well, not how I was expecting, but I was right,
Yeah.
But I loved how they threw that little quirk in there. It wasn't just the stereotypical what you knew was going to happen.
And moving on to Mrs. So this is anything we didn't like or anything we wanted or wished for in the movie. Do you have anything for that you would like to share?
Not necessarily a miss.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't approve of, people being in relationships when they're married to someone else.
No, not at all.
It was more of I was surprised we didn't see that. Glad we didn't see it, but I was surprised we didn't see it. I agree with Lauren's mom. Everyone thought her dinner with Jason was a date.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So like everyone thought that. So I was surprised we didn't see that.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a scene that was filmed and got cut, or maybe it just wasn't written. I don't know. Again, I'm glad we didn't, but at the same time, I'm surprised we didn't. Just because I thought that's something that we would see would be her like realizing how uncomfortable she would be with someone else. But I was glad they went with the aspect of like, to her it was just a business dinner and she didn't end it that way. Whatever. But that's the only thing I can think of, because honestly I love the whole thing. Like, I have zero complaints about the movie. And like I said, that wasn't necessarily a miss. It was more of a I was surprised.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I honestly don't have anything I really disliked about the movie. I mean, there was maybe one or two things that I wished for or wanted to be different. For example, really the only thing I wished maybe was a little bit different was how Kevin and Lauren didn't tell their son about the separation.
Well, I mean, he would have had to have known because they've been apart for 10 months. And like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He's spending a weekend with this one, a weekend with that one.
That makes sense.
Are you going to be here when I wake up? You know, whatever. So he would have had to have known. I was impressed that he didn't say anything in front of the grandmother. Honestly.
I was too. Yeah. But that's a good point. So I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. He probably did know. It maybe would have been nice to see a conversation with their son about it. But I mean, it didn't make me enjoy the movie any less. So
I think it would have been nice to see a conversation towards the end of them being like, how would you feel about dad moving back in? Yeah. You know, what instead of just he shows up and everything's supposed to go back to normal now. You know, so I think that would have been nice.
Yes. But that's exactly the way I feel. But I am glad that she was honest with her mom before the end of the movie.
Agreed.
And I think the only other thing I had, it was a question and a wish. I actually would have loved to have seen who won the gingerbread house competition. Because they didn't show that.
That's true. They honestly didn't even really, like, they did show the houses, but like not in super great detail for us to have even really been able to choose a winner of our own. I did like Bart's pretzel fence. I thought that was very cool. I love how she's like, did all last year thinking that up, and he's like, yep, yes I did.
That was awesome. That was so good.
But it was really cute. So I really
Yes. Moving on to ratings, what would you give the cast out of 5?
5 out of 5, definitely.
I said 5 out of 5 too. Chemistry,
definitely 5 out of 5.
Yes. And story,
again, 5 out of 5.
I said 4.5 out of 5, but that is very high for me. And then overall,
10 out of 5.
10 out of 5.
Exactly. I loved it.
I did too. I said 4.5 out of 5, but this is one of my top favorites of the year. It's in my top 10. I think, if I remember correctly, it's ranked 6.
Gotcha.
But it could go higher.
Yep. Could go higher, could go lower. You never know, but
I doubt it's going to go lower. It's so hard to rank these movies because there have been so many good ones this year. There have
really been a lot of really good ones.
Yeah. It's really tough. I'm already struggling with my top 10. Like, where do I put this one? Where do I put this one? But this was so much fun, Kerri. Thank you for joining me. I had a great time.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
Of course. And hopefully you'll be able to come back again very soon.
I would love to.
Yes. All right, Hallmarkies and Postables. I think that wraps up our review of This Time Each Year. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, You can like this video and share your thoughts about the movie in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review, as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of my episodes, you can subscribe to this channel on YouTube or follow along on Spotify, and make sure to turn on the bell so you are alerted when those new episodes come. You can also find the podcast on Facebook and Instagram at Swing My Heart Podcast and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and we will see you next time. We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.